today we are back on the box, and I am feeling so comfortable in these sways. That was my second try sole grind, nice and smooth all the way to the end, probably the fastest I've ever gotten a sole grind that I'm happy with. Immediately when I put these sways on, I feel comfortable. And since I've been skating a lot more different type of obstacles lately, not just the coping box feels extra easy. I'm able to get up on top of it right away, nice and centered on top of my grinds. And I had a lot of fun this session. Honestly, the quickest I've probably felt comfortable in a single session. You guys know a lot of the times it takes me a solid like 10-15 attempts before I start looking like I will look for the rest of the session. But almost every single trick I'm doing here, I'm getting in a way that I like first try. Not perfectly, not the best I can do it, but pretty good. Besides my P-stars, for some reason I was struggling with my P-stars today, when usually they're pretty solid. But P-stars along with Royales are kind of a hit or miss trick for me. Spoiler alert, I did Royales later and they felt amazing. For any of the people out there trying to learn how to do Royales, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't learn on PVC. Learn on a flat ledge. They're easier on a flat ledge. I still kind of struggle on PVC sometimes, but on flat ledges it's every time. Just about. Like, I'm even getting my switch ups first try. It's such a step up when you're finally in a boot that you're very comfortable in. I'm not thinking about my fit, I'm not thinking about my responsiveness, I'm just basically putting on shoes and going and skating. My shoes just happen to have wheels on them. And this is all real time. I show every single attempt from everybody. Just something I like to do in my videos because I think it gives more of like a personal view. Because he's very, very, very good. Like, sometimes I skate with some people that are very incredible, and it's nice to be able to see them work up to a certain trick that they like. Like that. I think that maybe took him 2 tries to work up to, but still, it's incredible stuff. And then he starts going in for it the other way. And then gets that second try. So that's just insane. I'm starting to try that trick he did, just a simple version of it where it's so grind to switch top acid. I can't seem to commit to swinging my foot back, and that may have been the best switch top acid I've ever done on this coping box. My next coping box session, I don't know if it's going to be my next session, but I'm going to work on all the tricks that I haven't worked on a lot. Like frontside unity, torque soles. Remember when I used to do torque soles all the time? As soon as I got this long box, I stopped doing torque soles because I fell on it a couple times really hard and then just stopped. I need to start doing back torques again. That's the same thing with this box. Once I got this box, I wasn't able to comfortably do long backside torques. My limit is about 12 feet. I can do 12-foot backside torques, but that extra 3 feet to get to the 15-foot, I just can't do it. I'm just getting to the point where I'm so much happier during a session because I know that I have a bunch of tricks that aren't going to take me ages just to land. Like that back far to soul grind. Remember that took me like 40 tries on my Plastiks. But now I get it basically every try, and it's all about trying to make it look better. I'm finally at the point, I'm finally at the point where I'm not worried about if I can land the trick, I'm worried about how I land the trick. Which I used to talk about. When I first started skating, I remember a lot of times people would tell me, kind of slow down on learning new tricks, but my response was always, I want to learn as many tricks as I can now, so that when I start focusing on being more comfortable and making them look better, I'll have a bigger book of tricks to make look better, and they'll all work off one another. And I think that's where I am right now, where I have this nice big vocabulary of tricks. I don't really feel the need to learn any new ones, even though I'm still learning some new tricks here and there, but it's all about trying to make the tricks I do know look better. So as I get my sole grind deeper and more stable, that makes all my switch ups out of sole grinds easier. And then I'm able to get into the second trick a lot more stable and balanced like that, so I'm able to hold whatever the second trick is longer. Everything just kind of builds off one another. I definitely need to work on all my 1 foot tricks. Mizus, or Machios I mean. Need to do some grabbed Machios, Christ Machios, Acid Christ Machios. I was also doing a Christ Machio to back torque switch up at one point. But a lot of the tricks that I just mentioned, I wasn't doing very well, so they weren't super satisfying, so I started doing them less. I noticed that I'm very attracted to tricks that feel the most satisfying, and that does sound obvious, but there's certain tricks that don't feel satisfying until you do them correctly. So it can be a little bit more difficult to work on them. Whew. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable with triple switch ups. The box is 15 feet long, so it's long enough to get them, but I'm not quite quick enough, and skating with a little bit of speed helps me a lot with switch ups. But if I skate with too much speed on a 15-foot box, I don't really have the time to get out the 3 tricks. But we snuck that one in. Like right there, you see how slow and controlled that trick was? 6 months ago, I could also do soul grinds to backside unities, but it never looked like that. Going to be working on this 360 Mizu to kind grind, I think. My back unity to soul grind switch up feels really, really good. Everything's just feeling so good on the box. I think I may have hit the pavement one time this session, and that was really nice. I didn't realize how quickly he landed that. I am struggling with my back unity to back farv switch up lately. I noticed in some of my older videos I would get that one a little bit nicer. Just need to turn my hips more into the farv. I notice now that I'm a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable. It's actually easier for me to have bad form, because when you get directly on top of the rail, you don't really need to have perfect form to stay locked in. So sometimes I will slide the entire box all the way full 15 feet, and it doesn't even feel satisfying because I didn't get to the lock-in point correctly. So I was kind of just like gliding across the top. That was a good example right there, that crappy back farv I did, where I technically kind of made it to the end, but it certainly didn't feel like it. Now I like searching for that feeling that you jump up, you land right on top of something, and you can kind of just chill out there. It's a different feeling than the same grind, the same length, but kind of just flying across the top. I do enjoy skating with more speed, but I feel like skating with too much speed kind of takes away the satisfyingness of certain tricks, especially on PVC. If you skate too fast on PVC, it just doesn't even feel like you did anything. At this point in the session, I realized I never work on my royales on PVC anymore, so we need to do that. And I definitely struggle. I put so much weight into my toes when I do front royales. I get a little bit too hingy. So like you see right there how I hinged forward and then my wheel touched down on the deck. If I was on a flat ledge, I would have just scraped my sole and kept sliding like a cess slide. But since I'm on coping, the wheel sticks out a little bit and can poke into the deck, which makes royales actually a bit harder on PVC. But it just forces me to get on top of it, and I'm pretty heavy, so when I do this trick, I can feel the PVC bending underneath my back foot. That one felt pretty good though. I don't know how he saved that. Whew. At this point, I'm kind of just getting tired, throwing up tricks I know. I start working on a back unity to sole to back unity, and I just barely get it. I think the next box I make is going to be a 12-foot box, because that's the length I prefer for single tricks, and then I will make an 8-foot extension so that I have a 20-foot box, which will be better for switch-ups. This 15-foot box is nice. It's good for training because it's just at the length that forces you to really hold your trick and make it all the way to the end with a nice balance point. But it's not quite long enough to make triple switch-ups comfortable. So it's kind of the best of both worlds or the worst of both worlds, depending on how you look at it. When I watch some of my tricks from the past where I was skating a 10-foot or 12-foot box, I just noticed I had a lot easier time because I didn't have to balance anything at all. But they were always a lot less fun for switch-ups because I never had any real time to sit into my switch-ups on a 10-foot, 12-foot box. With this 15-foot box, on double switch-ups, you get plenty of time to really feel them, which is very satisfying. But it can make single tricks harder when you're trying to learn them, because there's this weird thing in rollerblading where if you're not sliding the whole box, it just doesn't feel as good. So it can be tough for me to learn how to do new tricks because I have a tendency to start at the end of an obstacle when I learn a new trick and just slide it for a couple feet. And for some reason, it's tough to do that mentally when the box is so long. If the box is shorter, even though it's the same distance that I would be grinding if I jump at the end of a long box, it feels better, it feels more satisfying. But that's enough rambling. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.